Hey guys, first time me doing a tutorial. I really like this game, so that's one of the reasons. Besides some encouragement over there at Twitch. If you haven't followed my Twitch, be sure to follow my Twitch channel. I really appreciate this, where I'm mainly focused on at the current moment. But I figured I'd do a tutorial since I'm getting so many questions over there at Twitch dealing with this game. No More Room in Hell 2. So we're gonna get right into it. It's pretty much my little crash course of how to play the game, or like what I think about the game, and you know, various stuff like that. So let me go ahead and move myself. So yeah, here of course we got our characters. I mean, I guess I could just go back here. You got your weekly assignments, as you can see here. Pretty much a little not live news feed here. You know, your crossplay and field squad right there, and objective. You know, you select survival or objective or survival. Beginners, like, you know, your various difficulties here, from beginner to nightmare. It gets crazy on nightmare. And you know, you pretty much get the gist of that. This, you got your account level here. You got your currency there, which is credit in this game, and that little purple-ish where that 5 is, that's our merit. So you have that, but we'll get into that when we start to really worry about our loadout here. But we have our character, mainly early bird, just showing you, like, I've been playing the game for a while. I have over 100 hours into the game. I really love this game. I'm very fascinated by this game. But you know, of course, I'm at a level 107, so let's go down to my more lower level character, so you get an idea, a basic idea of like who you start off with the game, and you know how you were to play. So with the character, the gender role, you don't necessarily pick your gender. It rolls per character. Unfortunately, I don't have a empty slot, but it usually be like a little plus on where these characters' names are at. And you know, you just hopefully pick, you get 3 character selections basically, and all that falls on the first skill of that character, whether they're going to be like a track star or something like that, or in fumble case of football MVP, you know, something like that, basically emphasizing that, you know, you're having marathon runner as your first skill. So you can customize your character here, change, you know, various skin tones, different female heads, of course, with representations, as you can know. Various hair combinations here. Change the color of said hair, you know, turn to red or orange. We can keep black in this case. Eye right here, various eye color. Voices.
Howdy.
Hello.
I'm CRC.
Right. You get the gist of it, but always hit apply customization, so that way everything sticks. I'm really gonna go over that apply and close system here in a second. Boy, I have made such a critical mistake when I was playing. So here you got your hats, face wear. You have, of course, your torso. You got various equipment here that you can apply to customize your character for self-expression. Here now, I don't know if they've recently changed it on consoles. Again, of course, you play it on, it's cross-platform, cross-play. You play with all your friends, up to 8 friends, or excuse me, up to 7 people. You know, you can play with, as far as, you know, counting yourself, be 8. So yeah, so with this hat, I guess for some reason, like, at least from what I was hearing from like PlayStation, they might have corrected that in this recent update, where you can, of course, you had different colors you could pick for your hat and whatnot. But apparently, I guess some people wasn't able to see that you can actually change it to black, for example, and it doesn't have to be that solid color. So you know, you have that. You gotta hit, I say preset, and then I hit apply and close, but you get the gist of that. The skills, this is what we really care about, right? The main thing of this is having the various slots unlocked as far as this. So you know, as you can tell, it goes by 5s, or in some case 10s, actually a little bit more than that. Anyway, sorry about that. So um here, as you can see, apparently this character I didn't have it for expert, so it's not a big deal, but you have various skill unlocks with all these characters levels. So we'll go with early bird, and we will show you like I will show you like this. So you got sturdy body. I think this is probably one of the better skills in the game because of the it's essentially damage mitigation. You got healing item stack. It's reducing medical items weight, which is very important. Couple that with resident genes, so you can heal once you use pills or gene therapies, which is extremely good. Marathon runner, I recommend people have that. Because like originally my idea for my build was kind of be like a little bit of an all-arounder for the most part, but as I was playing, and you know, various creators was telling me, hey, a gun is gonna be a gun. So you're probably better off using like centering around like melee, especially as you're journeying from beginner to nightmare. It's very important that you have that, because you're more than likely going to keep hearing click click click, you're out of ammo, and yeah, especially you got people that's little loot goblins in the game or whatever. And to me, the people that loot like that are kind of detrimental to the team, and let me explain why. Since the fact that they're going out of their way to loot and hoard all this medical and ammo, ammunition, guns, or whatever they got going on, it does hurt the entire team, because where they was checking and gathering all those loot and various items, that's leaving other teammates scavenging and looking around those same spots to realize there's nothing there, because everyone's already grabbing the loot, therefore hurting the team. So if like, okay, maybe 3 people be able to extract, I'd rather the whole entire team extract, everyone be able to keep their character, blah blah blah. So it's like little stuff like that can really hurt the team overall. Whether you're trying to get the best gun or best melee weapon or what, is I would say is more beneficial to share all these items with everybody, so everybody collectively can leave. But besides that, an athlete is a very good one. Of course, headhunter and hard blow. I think all these melee skills are very important to have within your build, especially athlete. But to get to the loadout, this particular item, rescue beacon, undoubtedly, at least from beginner to nightmare, is the most essential item in the game, because you can spend either 2,000 credits on it, or you can spend some merit on it and save yourself 2,000 credits on it, so that way you're able to retain your character. It's very imperative. Like everything else matters to an extent. Perhaps you want satchel, you want to be like a little bit of a mule for the team. Even that type of gameplay helps tremendously, because now it's like, okay, if you're loading in, let's say that you use field squad, or perhaps you're actually coordinating with like an actual squad of people. Knowing whose role, so to speak, in the squad is like great. So that means that whoever is scavenging like hardcore to lust to loot, there's a play style literally for that. Instead of just hogging the loot, you can still get your fix this way, and also be able to help the entire team as you're traversing the levels, because that's less people got to worry about looking around. They can now focus on the horde that's incoming and start taking them out. So that's pretty good as far as that. In this build that I got ranger boots, because I was running nightmare solo. That's one of my main goals, is trying to beat it solo. I beat it on hard solo. That's not really, it's not that bad, but solo on nightmare is very interesting. So just quiet my steps, well, I was seeing, I think it was like 50 or 60% as far as the values of it, but you know, you can make a builder loadout, like where you can barricade. You can start off with 5 barricade or however more you want. You know, it all depends on what you're trying to go for. If you're doing survival, of course, medical. You know, I don't think I really have to explain this as much. Besides these pills, this can slow the infection rate down. I think it's by 2 to 3 minutes per pill. I personally pop the pills the moment I start seeing veins on my screen to maximize on my pills. But you know, and bandages and medikit, and you know, those 2 items, they heal you. Medikit heals you more. The revive syringe, this is in the case that your character get incapacitated and you need to get up quick and your team, some reason no one's around you or whatever, it can't get you, you can get yourself up that way. Various explosives, molotovs, see some of this stuff you kind of see. This is the biggest massive AoE explosive, pretty good. I like to use the wooden bat. One of my friends convinced me on using the wooden bat. It's really good. Before I was using that, I was using the mallet. I was honestly using the default loadout for the game. I got through most of the game pretty well with just the default loadout. I didn't even have to even change anything. But it all depends on what you want to start off with. I've seen people use the tree trimmer certainly on Nightmare, and it is really good, especially if you're playing Raven Rock and you start getting into those vents. As far as the gun, I don't really care too much for this rifle, the very first one. They have, since this recent update, it perhaps might have made it a little bit better, because everything, as far as like weapon wise, the spread of everything seem to have a reduction, which is good because it makes it more tighter, in one sense of, you know, per initial shot anyway for some of these weapons. But I personally like the 1911s, personally starting off with that, using that and couple that with ammunition. So, you know, if I had to pick 3 right off the bat, would probably be rescue beacon, like having a melee weapon, of course, like a bat, and the 1911, because you usually could find like some 45 ammo around the map pretty easily. Not as much as the 22 for the default pistol here, but it's just as good in my opinion. One shot headshot's pretty good. But the main thing we care about, right, is the gameplay. So let's get into the gameplay. Let's load in solo, Raven Rock, deploy. But yeah, so I think the game is really good. I think the qualities, there's a lot of potential here. I can see them doing some crazy collabs with other zombie like IPs. Really good. So we're here in Raven Rock. Sorry, my cam, let me move my cam. I just thought about it because that's where the objective marker is at. You can kind of see that, but let's move to the side right here. So yeah, so as we're just starting out, you know, I still think they should, like, I get used to like trying to open this up. It's just like pointless. It just looks like a compartment you can do that on. But got your traversing, you got your flashlight. One of the first few things I would tell a person to do though, before anything, go to your options and you want to go to controls and see what button does what, right? If you're used to like FPS, you know, games like that, first person shooters, X or square would be like your reload button, but it's not in this game. It's Y in my case, or triangle on the PlayStation controller. Mouse and keyboard, I'm not too sure as to what key it is, but even ironically I am playing this on PC, but I like my controller. So anyway, then I would tell a person go to gameplay, right? And you want to probably mess with your sensitivity a bit because it's a little tinky. Just at before this update, it was only at level 2 as far as like your sensitivity. Put mine to 2.8. I feel like it's a nice comfort for me. Might slowly go up more as I get crazier with the game, but and then your aim sensitivity, you can bump it up a few you know, decimals. I personally like when you as you're aiming, you understand like there's a little bit of a sweet spot for yourself and everything. But you get what I'm saying. You get the gist of what I'm getting at, right? So we're gonna go, of course, hit apply change for that, so it would apply. But one of the main things we're worried about, right? Since we're playing on beginner, we get the supply drops at the beginning of the game, and then the game pretty much will allow you to kind of fend for yourself. So here we got a first zombie here. The first thing I'm gonna tell a person to do, anytime you come across a zombie side shooting, kick, take them out as swiftly as you can, like that, because it's going to get worse and worse as you progress through the level. Especially on higher difficulties. Let me tell you. But one first thing I also had to tell a person is how slow the game is. It's pretty slow. It's not like you're just, like how certain games in this genre and how quickly you're able to move in fast motion like that. It's not like that. You can't, for example, run and reload. You got to walk backwards, I would say, if you're in my situation, to reload a little bit easier. But you want to do this as much as you can, so that way you're creating yourself room. The ideal in this game, as far as the level, you want to create room for yourself, you and your teammates, because it's very important that you do, especially if they're melee based like builders. So it's like you want to do that as much as possible, give them room. But if you do like using guns and stuff, of course getting them headshots really are critical, no pun intended. But yeah, you definitely want to do that. So you don't necessarily have to have batteries. Like, you can get them, of course, but I was able to run throughout the entirety of all my maps. I'm getting at least to that point to where I'm just using the first battery for your flashlight. So you can hit up on the D-pad to turn it on and off like that. So just a little bit of an idea as to like starting off with the game and like how you should probably have your mentality for the game. So while rewatching my tutorial, I low-key forgot one of the most important things. So when you're like starting the game and you're like, okay, how do I equip my weapons? So if you hold, depending on your controller, like since I'm using Xbox, it'll be LB, PlayStation will be like L1. I'm not so sure on PC, it could be like tab, but I'm not entirely sure with keyboard, mouse and keyboard. But you will hold that and you will use your right stick to select whatever wherever it is that you're trying to equip or trying to drop. This whole entire thing is pretty important while you're. I don't know how I forgot to put that into the tutorial, but I did forget that. Sorry about that, guys. And also using R1 or RB to look at your compass, and you can see here on your compass, when you can see the objective marker right here. I usually like to keep doing that because it helps me with other little side objectives when we got like a little yellow indicator telling us like what to do as far as the major besides the major objective. And you don't see it just yet. Maybe I can get it to pop up real quick. Hopefully it will. But basically with the early extraction, oh wow. All right, so with early extraction, there would be an icon for it. There it is. Okay, so like, so unfortunately it's tied with that the red major icon right there, but basically it's a down arrow with a box pointing to it, which signifies early extraction. Sorry guys, I totally forgot about that. I meant to add that into it, so sorry about that. Because it's probably also important that I emphasize this too. Getting back to the difficulties, right? So it's okay, in my humble opinion, to be a beginner till you're like, I don't know, like level 40 or 50. In my opinion, when you're first starting off in the game, like you're like just learning the game, don't even really have a squad or nothing like that, like I think it's okay for a person to do that, because normal, it for some people, even me, when I originally started, I haven't played early access or nothing like that. Like I literally started at the launch of the game. Normal was a little overbearing. I can report that, and other people that are new to the game also are saying that. So you know, so if you're thinking you're gonna jump from like beginner to like nightmare and think you're gonna get carried in nightmare, people will leave you for dead on nightmare. I'm personally telling you that. Not saying that I would actually go back and go find you, so to speak. But I might leave you if you, especially you got a mic and you're not communicating with me like in any way, like with the team, we're probably gonna leave you for dead. Might early extract. You can't early extract in the game if things get a little too crazy. You will literally see it pop up as a prompt as you start off in the map. Take a little time, probably like, I don't know, like 5 or so, or maybe 10 minutes or so, depending on, I don't know if it's objective based or what. Sometimes when you're playing with people, but solo, certainly you'll see it pop up pretty instantly, damn near. But yeah, so that's pretty much my crash course in this game. Hopefully you're able to glean something from this. Of course, if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't followed me on Twitch, be sure to follow me on Twitch. I go live pretty frequently there. It's predominantly where I'm at. Yeah, see you guys soon. If you want more tutorial videos on my thoughts about the game or whatever, and be sure to drop me some feedback in the comments. I'll work on it as best as I can with how crazy my hectic my schedule can get. So really appreciate you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you have a good day. Thank you.